Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game between Fly and 120 taking place here on Echo Isle. As you can tell, there are no observers in this particular matchup, and I said Echo Isle even though I do mean Terranistan. My apologies, excuse me. I am human, I make mistakes, and apparently by reading some of the comments, if I make mistakes, I should never be a caster. If you're already one of those viewers, go ahead and stop watching now. I am human. I do make mistakes unless you happen to know absolutely perfect casters. I may make more mistakes than your typical professional caster, but then again, I'm not a professional caster. Anyways, let's go ahead and break things down here. It is going to be Orc versus Undead here on Terranistan. Fly versus 120 once again. And, well, I'll probably just refer to them as Orc and Undead throughout this matchup as, well, it's sometimes difficult to remember who it is unless I have it on a piece of paper next to me. Anyways, let's go ahead and see what the Orc player is going to be doing right now. We can see that he is going to be opening up with a Blade Master. And we'll see the timing on that Voodoo Lounge. He hasn't yet built the Voodoo Lounge, but he hasn't built a second Orc Burrow yet. Most likely that means he's going to be going for a faster tier 2 tech, unless, nope, this could be the Voodoo Lounge that I was talking about, and there it goes. Alright, getting that Voodoo Lounge now. That does seem to be a little bit more delayed than normal, and we'll see where the Blade Master and the Grunt do go early on to try and pick up those powerful items for that Blade Master. Blade Master obviously wanting Circlets of Nobility, Gloves of Haste, Claws of Attack +6, and then one powerful consumable item, allowing him to stick around in that battle a bit longer. Meanwhile, we are going to be looking at the Undead now, going for Death Knight and maybe perhaps some Crypt Fiends. You can see the timing on that Death Knight is not yet done, and that is because, well, Graveyard was much earlier. By getting that Graveyard earlier, those Crypt Fiends are trained up a little bit faster, as we're now looking at the Blade Master finishing off some Apprentice Wizards. As you could tell, it was actually Critical Strike as the first ability as opposed to Windwalk. That is important to note because that means that the Blade Master will finish off this 5-3-3 creep camp before venturing out. The Blade Master definitely wants to get to level 2. He needs to have Windwalk to be very effective in the early portions of the game and to do any sort of harass. Blade Master will finish off the Rogue here and then finish off that last... No, he doesn't have to finish off that last Rogue, but he might just do it for good measure. Meanwhile, Death Knight finally reaches him out onto the field. You can see that the Crypt Fiends were fighting purposefully on Blight in order to regenerate a bit more hit points. Another Rod of Necromancy charge could be used here in just a moment. There's the attack, there's the Death Coil, purge onto the Death Knight, and that's mainly in order to make sure that the Renegade Wizard doesn't actually purge those skeletal minions. By having those skeletal minions around, it actually absorbs a good bit of that damage once more and also adds in a little bit of damage as well. Death Knight will in fact get to level 2, getting level 2 Unholy, or level 1 Unholy Aura, there it goes, and now he's going to venture forth. Blade Master has already returned back home, healing salved himself and a friend with one more free to use, as he now looks to go after this one assassin. The assassin is perhaps the big ticket item here, is a level 4 unit that is fairly easy to take down. It does drop a fairly strong item on this green creep camp, and then the Blade Master can simply just walk away. You can see him pick up the Circlet of Nobility. Oh, purposely waiting until the assassin was down before bringing over that Grunt, as the Grunt would have been poisoned and not have been able to heal nearly as much. However, Undead has brought over 4 Crypt Fiends. We should be seeing a tech to tier 2. Well, no tech to... Wait. I'm thinking about what he could really be doing right now. This is a lot more Crypt Fiends than I would have expected at this stage. 4 Crypt Fiends out, and the fact that tier 2 hasn't even been started yet is a bit of a head scratcher. You can see the Stronghold is now done, and we should be looking at a second hero. what could the Undead player really be looking for here as you see him finish off some of those units. Alright, Skeletal Minion's gonna finish off this Apprentice Wizard, giving the Death Knight level 3. Oh, is it gonna... Yes, it should be able to finish it off right there. There it goes. Death Knight does get to level 3. And this is a big deal. Level 3 Death Knight, level 2 Death Coil with plenty of mana is gonna put a lot of pressure on the Orc player, and I do not believe he is ready for this. All right, let's see what the attack's going to be. There's the Death Coil, perfectly timed right there, and, well, the Crypt Fiends are just going to end up playing Whack-A-Mole eventually. Do we have Burrow being upgraded? I believe Burrow is actually a tier 2, so no, we are not going to have Burrow upgraded for quite some time. Now, we are going to Fortress, and this is a strategy that has become more popular as of late. We also do see the Sentry Ward here as well, as we're going to be looking at a Death Coil going down on that Crypt Fiend right there. Speed Scroll now being used. Shadow Hunter is back out. As you can see that the Blade Master now trying to engage. Blade Master has to be extremely careful though. He could be revealed as a potion of healing is used. Death Knight right now nearby. Death Coil saves him again as the Blade Master looks to run away. Blade Master going after this one Crypt Fiend down to 2 hit points and is just slowly walking away from the Blade Master, and the Blade Master does finally get his target, but not before more damage was dealt. Alright, now going after those peons, and now switching back over to the Voodoo Lounge. The Blade Master is going to get attacked. He is revealed right now. Death Knight still has enough for 2 Death Coils pretty much, as the units are going to be forced to back off. However, the Crypt Fiends are dangerously low on hit points. There goes another. This low hit point Crypt Fiend does perhaps need to run all the way back as well, as this Crypt Fiend now down to 138 and escaping again. Alright, damage is starting to add back up. Mana is getting low, but I don't see any critical damage being dealt as of yet by the Undead. Alright, Death Knight trying to get some damage onto that Blade Master. Blade Master, however, is invisible. There it goes. There's the Death Coil onto that Crypt Fiend to try and save it, as the units are now slipping by every which way. Are we going to see it picked up by... Yes, we're going to see it be picked up by a Goblin Zeppelin. Perhaps, no, not quite yet. Shadow Hunter is, well, has plenty of mana as this one Crypt Fiend tries to get away. No boots of speed on the Blade Master. We will see a wind walk right there as Fortress is now completed. Alright, Peon now taken down. Really focusing a lot of attention and effort onto this Voodoo Lounge. There is no more Rod of Necromancy charges though, so what you see is what you get. Death Knight, Death Coil should be incoming onto that Crypt Fiend. It does get in there on time, as the Voodoo Lounge does get, no, not taken down. Too many repairs, and it looks as though, well, did the Crypt Fiend fall? No, it did not either. Halls of the Dead now being upgraded, but it just looks like he is too far behind to really get back into this. Undead in serious trouble right now, behind in tech by a full tier and a half. We may even see, well, are we going to see any sort of additional upgrades? I don't see a War Mill, so we are not going to get the upgrade into fortified buildings. Enforcer now going to get taken down, as we do have a lightning shield coming across 120's Crypt Fiends. All right, the Undead looking to spread out all of his Crypt Fiends right here. You can see more damage is being dealt. More Crypt Fiends just trying to walk around, making sure to not actually damage each other. Although those 2 Crypt Fiends do need to separate themselves like 2 children who just can't get along. I'm speaking from experience, I guess, as the Brigand finally does get taken down there. Shadow Hunter now sitting at 2. Skeletal Minion does scout this out. Blade Master still wandering around, does have a Lightning Orb, and that Lightning Orb would be extremely helpful up against Obsidian, or, well, not Obsidian statues, up against Destroyers, but we're not even at a stage where Destroyers are an option. We are at Halls of the Dead. We are finally getting the Lich as the Blade Master tries to engage here. Crypt Fiend dealing a good amount of damage. There's a Purge. Death Knight, there's a Death Coil, saves it at the last very possible moment, as the Blade Master is trying to escape. It will be able to wind walk away, as the Shadow Hunter is sitting at level 2 but hasn't yet trained up either Hex or Serpent Ward. Tome of Intelligence, who wants to read to get smarter? Well, obviously not a lot of people. Maybe an Undead Death Knight wants to, as he's going to increase his maximum mana by 15. Alright, Blade Master is nearby. You see that ward right there. I'm not quite sure whose it is. I believe it is the Undead's, as we're looking at slow being cast across multiple units here. This could be, well, rather dangerous, as you do not want to be engaged against your enemy when your opponent has free debuffs on your units. Kobold Geomancers are all that are left. A little bit more slow being cast across multiple units here. Death Knight sitting at level 4. Lich is sitting at level 1. Death Knight at 4 is actually very scary, as the Blade Master, isn't able to shake off a 300 hit point death coil all that easily. Blade Master, however, does have Windwalk, is using that Clarity Potion. There is some attacks, no Purge as of yet. As you can see, there's a Purge now. Death Knight could come across, get a death coil. Where is that frost armor? Don't see it still, as we now see the enforcers looking to engage once more. All right, more damage to be had. One brigand will get taken down very fast. Frost armor finally added. Blade Master, death coil, but potion of healing used in time as the Blade Master goes down to 500 hit points. Blade Master now looking to back off here. There are a lot of grunts, and we also see some skeletal minions added up. Undead actually doing a great job adding in enough units to really have a strong army for this upcoming fight. Death Knight now going to go ahead and engage. You see, Death Coil saving that Crypt Fiend there. Blade Master going after the units. Frost Armor is on that Crypt Fiend. Crypt Fiend, now getting gobbled up by a Kodo, as we see a Death Coil now land on another Crypt Fiend. Blade Master dangerously low on hit points. Is it going to end up getting taken down? Potion of a certain vulnerability now used. Death Knight now still engaging. Blade Master down to 68 hit points. Death Knight could come around for a Death Coil, and he does, but on a Crypt Fiend instead. Frost Nova lands onto the Grunt, as we could be looking at some units in a mad run. Death Knight now trying to go after these units here. Death Knight, Frost Nova onto the Grunt again. Grunt is in trouble. It will get taken down, as we see this illusion, will completely be ignored. Death Knight picking up a Scroll of Town Portal and a Dust of Appearance. Lich is sitting at level 2 with plus 10 attack because of the Robe of Magi and those double circlets of nobility. Meanwhile, let's take a look at where the Blade Master is. Blade Master is right here, sitting at level 3. Level 3, and I believe a level 3 going up against a level 4, level 2. Who has the definitive edge? I do not know yet, but the Pit Lord is now out in play. And with Howl of Terror as perhaps the big ability that could throw a wrench in the works. All right, Frost Armor onto the Obsidian Statue, slowing things down. There's a Death Coil onto the Blade Master. He's going to think twice before trying to engage once more, as he does not want to get Frost Nova Death Coiled or anywhere near that army. If the Death Knight just uses Dust of Appearance, he could accidentally find his opponent very fast, as we now see his Speed Scroll being used. All right, let's take a look at this one Kodo Beast. Kodo Beast is slowed, but Speed Scroll does override it. It will get down to 278 hit points, though, as the piercing damage from those Crypt Fiends upgraded at 1-0 do deal good damage. Death Knight now sitting at level 5. And with that Obsidian Statue, the Death Knight can easily get into the 150 mana territory, which is extremely potent and deadly. Death Knight should most likely be backing off here. He can't gain any experience, and he will actually be stealing it from the Lich and the Pit Lord. You can take a look. Obsidian Statue just wandering around, going after the Obsidian Statue now, as the Blade Master trying to keep track. There's Dust of Appearance. Our Death Coil Frost Nova, as the Blade Master running a little bit slow. Crypt Fiends firing volley after volley of those attacks. And the Blade Master runs with his giant sword, straight in front of him like he always runs. Shadow Hunter, Blade Master, healing back up once more. This predominantly Crypt Fiend Obsidian Statue army doing a good number so far, but we do now have fortified armor on the Orc Burrows. We still do not have a tech to tier or a third hero. Endurance Aura does help out that Blade Master counteract the effects of Frost Armor, but we still don't see that yet. Death Knight still wandering around, one Obsidian Statue down to 213 hit points and climbing, as the Death Knight's level 2 Unholy Aura giving passive regeneration to a mechanical unit. Back down to the south, Shadow Hunter looking to finish off the remainder of that creep camp. Obsidian or Death Knight transferring some items. Orb of Corruption now to the Lich. Plus 21 damage between the Claws of Attack, Robe of Magi, Circlet of Nobility, and Orb of Corruption. That plus 21 damage and the fact that it removes armor makes that Lich a very, very powerful hero. That Lich, with great support from the Death Knight and those heals, can stick around for quite some time. Also has a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability, as the Death Knight could use a Dust of Appearance, catch that Blade Master out of position, and perhaps cause a bit more problems. All of the major creep camps have now been cleared out, making sure, we can see that 120 making sure that there are no expansions out here, as the Pit Lord, well, chasing after the units. Blade Master, it looks like he didn't get that speed scroll buff, as we're now looking at a 56/60 supply army. Alright, Skeletal Minion off to the north, trying to knock on the Altar of Storms, will not be able to take it out all that easily. Meanwhile, we're going to be looking at these units come inside across here. Death Knight going after these units. Does the Pit Lord have Cleave? I don't even know what ability the Pit Lord has. I don't believe I've seen Howl of Terror or Rain of Fire at all. There's Dust of Appearance. The Blade Master is revealed. Death Coil, Frost Nova, Orb of Corruption, Healing Wave, Crypt Fiend attacks, really doing a number on the health and well-being of that Blade Master. Blade Master now trying to go back down. There's a Howl of Terror as more damage is being dealt. Alright, -2 armor attack debuff going across multiple units as the Blade Master goes after the Lich. Lich does have, well, Orb, has a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. Will it be in time? There it goes. Devour Magic to remove it. And now able to stick around for a little while longer as the Death Knight may try to go for a Death Coil. Wind Riders are up in the air, but there are no webs that I see so far. Death Knight perhaps should be looking to get... oh, there goes a web going after the Wind Riders now. Blade Master going to try and engage as the Pit Lord is still fighting back here. Death Knight in serious trouble, down to 178, 79, 61, 12, and does not use the Potion of Healing in time. I believe because of that Hex, that could be a problem. Blade Master, however, also gets felled as well, as both sides losing their primary heroes. Alright, Pit Lord still fighting back across over here. Destroyers, perhaps, or Obsidian Statues, perhaps should be in Destroyer form. Crypt Fiend now pops back out on the other side of that fight here, as you do see a couple of, well, burrowed Crypt Fiends, and one Crypt Fiend doing a great job acting like a frog and getting taken out. Shadow Hunter now still at level 4. Burrowed Crypt Fiends trying to stay alive. Dust of Appearance, however, does reveal them as the Obsidian Statues are in the back, still doing a great job here. Pit Lord looking to engage, perhaps finish down some more units. Lich at level 3 going after these units slowly but surely, trying to finish off unit after unit as the Pit Lord may go in and try and engage right here. There is that Cleave attack, that animation, as there it goes. Level 4 now on that Lich. Lich continuing the fight. There's another Howl of Terror. Units are all now backing off. Obsidian Statues, however, are not getting healed. You got to remember, without the Death Knight, there is no passive regeneration, and that's the only real way the Obsidian Statues would still be able to heal each other right here, right now. Pit Lord, rather low. Are we going to see perhaps a Hex damage going down? Obsidian Statues, the weak link here, as the Frost Nova lands onto the Grunts, and it looks like Undead is just starting to run away with this, especially as the Blade Master is still not yet alive. Kodo Beast gets taken down, and there is the game. 120 recovering or executing a game plan that I wasn't quite ready for. A very, very late tech to tier 2 with 4 Crypt Fiends as an opening. It didn't look like he did very much damage early on. I'm not quite sure how he was able to start pulling away and pulling ahead with that. Perhaps Fly, not knowing that he had such a large, well, hero advantage, he didn't press while he could and gave 120 the opportunity to really, really just creep out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.